You're listening to Family Today with Funmi Johnson.
It's another beautiful Friday morning, and this is Family Today with Funmi Johnson. Today, we're going to talk about something that is going to hit some people, and I may hit you below the belt. But if I do hit you, just know that I'm hitting you out of love. I had a phrase, in the course of the week, and it's so exciting. Low effort pandemic. I'm like, what does that mean? Low effort pandemic is what is reigning now. Let me explain it. Let me break it down. People are looking for businesses, activities that requires minimal input from them, but they claim gives them good return on investment. They also talk about the uprising, and I laugh. But let me start with this story. I want you to listen to me. My husband and I used to run a furniture factory. We did that for 11 years. At the time, we had 32 carpenters. And I can tell you about 3 of them that stood out. I will decoy their names, for protection. One is Jimo. Another one is James. And then there's Moshudi Agbapako. That's called AKA. When we have, a job that has a crazy deadline, like you have to deliver, tomorrow, clients are always saying, how soon do you want to say, like yesterday? When you have jobs like that, it's Moshudi we send there. When we have jobs for top executives that we don't want any error, if it's upholstery, we go to Jimo. Jimo. Do you know that after what looks like I don't know how many years, I still remember some of the things. I still have pictures in my head of the quality of work that Jimo did for us. Then the last person, but definitely not the least, is James. James was so good that the chairs that James made for me, I kept 2 of them. These were the chairs that our children used when they were young, when they were under 10. And by the way, my last child is almost 30. So for you to know how long ago I'm talking about, these 3 people were so outstanding. Then one day, it was that era, I think it used to be around 15 years ago. Remember that time when Okada uprising in Lagos? Every corner Okada. Before, I think it was Governor Babatunde Fashola that banned Okada. Then Jimo got a bike, started bringing the bike to work. He would walk small, and then Jimo realized that if he would cover one chair then for like 7,000, he will make that 7,000 per day delivering on Okada. Before we knew it, Jimo stopped the upholstery work and started full-time on the Okada. We did everything. Jimo, you can do this. Okay, why not do the Okada on weekends, do this on weekday, or do the Okada from early morning till like 10, then from like 4. He was making a lot of money from the Okada. The next thing, I think after 2 or 3 years, Okada was banned. They said it will not last. What were they using before? Then police started catching them. All the money he made in the Okada, he lost it to several things. At that time, he's lost trend in furniture, he's lost the connection, he's lost the goodwill, he's lost the good people that had known him. Don't forget that Jimo was an illiterate. In fact, he wasn't from Nigeria, but he was from Benin Republic. So he had to leverage on Nigerians who have access to the people they can use. He also was deficient in the language. I'm using this example to say something to you. Because something is trending now, because you can make quick money now, does not mean you should leave that thriving business and jump into it. That's number 1. Then sometimes you may need to deprive yourself, deny yourself of the ease of return and spend the energy to learn a skill that is enduring. I'm going to compare the story of Jimo to that of James. Both of them works for us. James, on the other hand, was so good. That time, labor was ridiculously cheap. Not now. If you want to have good furniture that is made in Nigeria now, the same setting that we used to make then, complete set, 30,000. That's plus labor, plus the foam, plus the wood, max. maybe 50,000. The same set now, made in Nigeria, good set, is selling for 1.2, 1.5, 1.8 million. The same set, the same wood, the same foam. Of course, cost of material has increased. So also as the cost of labor. I just engaged a carpenter who clearly wrote for me, an illiterate carpenter, but very good one, wrote for me labor 750,000. The man with his full chest, labor outside of materials. What happens? There is a shortage of those skill sets right now. So James was so good that, one of our staff who relocated to Abuja, I went to Abuja and I happened to be visiting his house. I said, I see the signature of my company. Then he said, oh yes, so it's actually James. I said, James, where did you find him? He said, yes, he went to the furniture market and alas, he saw James. James is still making furniture. Now James has bought a land, has built a house, is married with children on this same furniture business. What am I saying? When the barrier of entry into any business is low, a lot of people will go into it. It's just a matter of time. Saturation will take place. The exits would also be massive, the same way people flooded into it. When it was a time of POS, I remember someone that came to a small business loan setup to borrow money for the POS. And he said, December, January, they need a lot of cash to be. And the person borrowed money and in less than 3-4 weeks, returned the money, made a lot of money, made the killer. Right now, it's so flat. 5,000 is 100 naira. Almost the same thing if you are debiting from another bank's ATM. It is not as lucrative anymore, unlike what it used to be before. But there are skills that are doing well and doing great. And those are the things I want us to talk about today. If you're listening to me, this is Family Today with Funmi Johnson. We talk about how God wants us to have formidable families, building the family the way God wants. But you see, we need money. We need ego, ubo, kudi, owo. We need to know how money works. And I need you as parents also not to make that same mistake. Yeah, everybody's saying, go into AI, go into coding. They are good. But there are some things you also need to learn by going to school, doing your JS 1 to 3, SS 1 to 3, go to the university. Not necessarily because the university is going to give you money, but because the rigor of submitting to the discipline of the system changes something about you. The networking changes something about you. The delay changes something about you. So don't be so much in a hurry to say, because I'm making money now, I don't need those skills. You need those skills. And you don't ever know when you're going to need them. So I'm going to look at some businesses and trades we can go into and what we need to go into them. Also, I will talk about businesses you can start in Nigeria with less than ₦1 million. And I want to digress to talk about Bridge for Her. What are the things we're doing at Whitefield Foundation? Let me introduce myself again. My name is Funmi Johnson. I'm the CEO of Whitefield Foundation. Whitefield Foundation has been in existence for the past 23 years. We at the Whitefield are committed to eradicating poverty through education and empowerment. One of the things we want to do these few weeks is to help startup businesses, especially women. Don't worry, men, just chill. We're coming for you. But this one is for women. So if you're a small business owner, maybe you are into hairdressing, nail studio, you're selling some things, maybe frying chips or something, you're making clothes, you're a cobbler, but you're in a business that is not making up to 50 million a year, then you're my candidate. For the next 4 weeks, we want to retool you, we want to rekit you, we want to teach you how to scale up that skill that you already have. We want to show you the diamond in the rough in that your skill. Please don't be in a hurry to drop that skill. One of my associates was talking to me about his mechanic, that suddenly the man just wants to Japa. I'm like, our mechanics also Japa in. So he said, so I see him. So countries are now asking for our skilled labor. And let me tell you this, they will lure you by saying to you, you will be making $2,000 a month. They're not lying. You will actually make more than $2,000. But do you also know that your rent will be $1,200 a month? That your transport costs will be $750 a month? That in fact you will be sleeping in the cold in winter. You will not be able to put heater. When you convert how much that electricity bill will cost, they won't tell you that. By the time you are able to send $500 back home, you have depleted your health and your well-being by maybe 2 or 3 years shortage. So the opportunity cost, the cost of that relocation, they will not tell you. They will just shine that $3,000, $4,000 a month, and you will leave your lucrative business here and go and become a slave over there. Am I against people relocating? Oh, definitely not. I have people, a lot of people that have relocated and are doing well. Okay, but that's because they paid the price to have the skill that is sellable over there. You understand? You have your skill set here. You cannot exchange that skill for value over there, and you just jump, sell your house, sell everything, sell your car, resign from work. Some people spend as much as 50, 60 million. And I'm like, if you have 50, 60 million in Nigeria, we're going to look at businesses you can do with those money and how much money you can make. You can actually increase your quality of life in Nigeria. If you know, I'm going to start with small businesses. You can follow the Funmi Johnson on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, all the social media platform, the Funmi Johnson. And you can ask me questions. If you slide in, I can answer, and then let's see what we can do. Let's start from the beginning. The ultimate, to be wealthy, you need to be rich. To be rich, you need to exchange your skill set, your value for money. So if you do not have the skill set, that means you're not going to be rich. And I say this about money. Money is like drug. Not like paracetamol, not like codeine. It's like hard drugs. You get stimulated by it and you get used to the way you make it. So if you make money by prostitution, for instance, if you need more money, you know what you do? You look for more hookups. If you make money by stealing, if you need more money, you look for more heist, you look for more places to steal. If you make money by lying, you lie more to get more. So it's like you get used to the way you make it. So I want to tell you something. You need to learn the right way to make money so that if you want to scale that up, you only scale it up. So today I'm talking to startup businesses, entrepreneurs, people that are trying to make a living through vocational skill set. Let me give you some trading things you can do, because that is one thing that is easy to jump to in Nigeria, especially if you're in Lagos. I'll tell you why I'm talking about Lagos. If you're in Lagos, transportation, traffic, then the span, traveling from mile 12 all the way to Aja can cost you about 3.5 hours. So if you can get 10 families in Aja that need you to supply them foodstuff, you come down to mile 12, get the thing, transport it to the place, share the cost on them, put your percentage on it, you will make money. Let me tell you some of these businesses you can make. Some with a little capital, some with no capital at all. Like the model I gave you, you have 10 families, they would have given you the money. You already have some people in mile 12 that you contact. There is a price for all these items per day. The basket of tomatoes, when the trailer lands, sells for X amount on Monday. The price can change. We're going to go on a short break shortly, but let me start mentioning some of the things you can do in Lagos. Foodstuff business, wholesale and retail. I'm talking about rice, beans, garri, palm oil, peppers, perishable, non-perishables, the ones that have long shelf life and the ones that don't have. And there is a very, very high return on investment on this. What do you need to know? There's also a skill to it. If you're going to foodstuff, you need to know the season of those food. All food come in season. Do you know that beans is a bit expensive now, but wait till December, the price will be almost half. Do you know that garri becomes cheap every 3 years? It has a 3-year cycle. There's something you can do learning about that. Do you know that palm oil gets cheap from March? Immediately after the first, second rain, the palm kernels will come down. And so there will be mass production of palm oil. So people say, hey, palm oil is expensive, because you don't know the right time to buy it. Palm oil has a shelf life. If you do not put it on the floor and it doesn't hit the wall, it can last for as long as 2-3 years. So you can know when to buy it, store it a little bit, and then when it becomes expensive in May, like it's expensive now and it will become expensive by that December, you can sell it for 2-3 times the price. I'm going to stop now, and then we'll take up this conversation after the short break. I hope you're enjoying it. See you shortly. Are you a woman? You own a business and you reside in Lagos mainland, Yaba, Mushin, Surulere, Ojota, Ojodu, Bariga, wherever your business is situated, good news has come to you. We at the Whitefield Foundation, we want to train you, equip you, and cut you over technologically. I don't care what your business is. Are you a hairdresser, a sewing mistress, you run a shop, but you want to be able to present yourself in the internet space, you want some AI understanding, this is coming to you free. Quickly now go to www.whitefieldfoundation.ng and register for Bridge for Her. It is free and it is brought to you courtesy Whitefield Foundation. Registration closes soon. Do it now. Now you're back. You have the advert. That's Bridge for Her. You need to go right now and register because we have limited space, and this is the last advert I'm making. If you have someone who is interested, the only criteria is this: must be a woman, number one. 2, must be living on the mainland. The venue of the event is going to be number 25 McCoy Street, Sabo, that's Yaba area of Lagos. We would expect you to come at least 2 times a week. And we don't want the cost of transportation to become prohibitive. That's why we're limiting it to people that can make it to the venue. So who are the people who should come? Bariga, Yaba, Ketu, Ojota, Surulere, Oyigbo, all Apapa, they're still, good catchment area. Mushin, Olorunshogo, Papa Jao, Isolo, you can still make it as long as you're on the mainland. If you're coming from Ota, that's a bit far. Mero, Alagbado, that's a bit far. Except, of course, you make up your mind and you're dedicated. Yeah, we say it's free. It's because some people paid for it. We'll be strict on attendance and you will come at least 2 times a week. So that's why, don't worry if you're living in Ajar, Lekki, you would find a venue and do yours. Except you can find a place to stay or hang around for the period when we want to do it. We're still talking about Olodo uprising and low effort pandemic. Don't be caught in that web. You need skill. So even these small businesses I'm sharing with you require skill. One of the things we're going to be teaching is how to sell. Whatever business that you're doing, you must have the strategy to sell. The next one is perfume and fragrance business. You can start it with as little as 200, 300,000. And the return on investment is high because there's something about the revolution of health and beauty that we're in now. People are concerned about the way they look, the way they feel, and what they eat. So if you're able to do something that they can make them feel good, help their self-esteem and self-worth, you can package it. There's also where you can get these things. We'll teach that in the class as well. Another thing, you can come up with laundry and dry cleaning. If you don't have the money to set it up big, if you're doing it on the low scale, that return on investment is not so high. But there's a way you can even do drop off and pick up for people who are already in the business. I'm talking about what you need to do to be able to have the money to be able to go to the next level. I'm not saying die here. This is just a startup for you. The other one is mini poultry. Are you living in a place that has a compound? There's something small you can do. That one has also moderate or modest return on investment. One thing that has great return on investment people don't know is phone accessories. Turn to the right and turn to the left. Somebody is using a phone. If 10 people are in a room, at least 9 out of them, if not all 10 of them, will have a phone. They will need charger. They will need Bluetooth. They will need a headphone. They need all these things. And if you know how much they're selling this thing, you only need to know who is the importer. When you go to Computer Village, there are importers and there are importers. So you need to know any man that says to you is going to the shop to go and bring it, not being getter. Okay, and there are some accessories that are cheaper in Alaba than in Computer Village. You need to know which is which. And you can do all the foot soldier work to go there. Another thing is cosmetic and skincare. Oh my God. The return on investment on that one is huge. You don't even need to go to Aspanda. There's a place in Mushin also. These are all the trade secrets we're going to be sharing with you. And there are even skincare things, homemade, that you can do that, if well tested, and we teach you how to also get the NAFDAC registration you can make a kill out of it. How to scale up. If you're a hairdresser, for instance, and you develop a treatment for hair breakage, for edge control and these things, and it works, the next thing, that may be where your multi-million is going to come from. What about frozen food distribution? There are companies in Nigeria, there are farms that are selling their chicken directly to wholesalers. All you need to do is find out where these farms are and see how you can now be the middleman from the farms to the end users. Not just frozen food, all other food items. Because let me tell you something about businesses. You need to know what are the items. I don't know how to call this in English. Items that are indispensable. Yes. Food, shelter, communication accessories, transportation. These are things that people would forever need. How do you want to plug yourself into this? Then in Lagos, I'll talk about solar installation and accessory. This is another business you can go into with very, very little capital. What do I mean by that? All you need to do is go and submit yourself to the training. Have the working knowledge of how to either measure what is used in the house, convert it into the standard of inverter that is required. Then you can, if you know a bit about electricals, learn about solar installation. Most of the time, 90% of the time, the end user will give you advance to supply. In fact, sometimes they will just pay you your labor costs and they will pay directly for the materials that need to be used. All these things you need to know. What about snacks and confectionaries? These ones depend on the class of people you're dealing with. Some are high-end, some are not so expensive. You need to know the class of people. But food is about taste. If the quality of the food, like I like cakes, but I can't eat just any cake. There's a taste of cake that I like. If you're making your cake with margarine, immediately I smell it from 12 miles apart. I just need to put it on my tongue and I'll know, no, this is not going to fly. So what do you need to do to bring in the right skill that can make you to be outstanding? I'm still talking about the low-level pandemic. The carpenter that I'm working with now I don't have a furniture factory anymore. He has the skill. He did not go to the university, but he makes more money than the average graduate. And I mean significantly more. What is wrong with you as a graduate, an engineering graduate? What is wrong with you learning any of these skills? What is wrong with you, any of you that is planning to Japa abroad, to go and learn a skill that is applicable to where you're going? I told you about segmenting the market. People would always need transportation. People would always need food. I went visiting one of my proteges one day who had a car, had a Toyota, and then bought the Toyota then for an X amount and was selling the Toyota for almost the same price they bought the car 6 years ago. And was saying, you know what? I said, what? He said, all the people that made inquiries about the car want to go into Uber. That means in that climb, transportation would make a demand. So if you're traveling abroad, maybe one of the things you want to do is perfect your driving here. When you get there, invest in driving skills, be a good driver, and then you may be able to, first of all, use that to whole body while you're learning what's the next thing to do. Another thing is maybe have some cooking skills. I found out also that people, especially where there's a cluster of Nigerians, they always crave home food. What about understanding shipping? These people also want to have things, shipped to them and sent back home. These are skills you need to learn about. Freight, how do they calculate it? The scale, the weight, volume weight or regular weight. Don't just look for the thing that is easy. Young people, you are so desperate. They say work smart, not hard. I don't know what Bible you got that from. The Bible says to every hard work, to every labor, there is reward. There is a good thing about working hard and working smart. Not that you work smart and stop working hard. Don't let the devil deceive you. God expects us to work because God himself worked. He only rested after he finished the work in 6 days and handed over the baton to us. But we want to wear the designers, we want to fly the first class, yet we don't want to pay the price. Please don't do that. Whatever is trending now will lose trend, only in a few years. Don't lose the skill. I want to talk about some other skills that I think we should go into, or other businesses that we can go into that requires more money than the regular ones I've spoken about. Let me tell you some other businesses that you can go into in Nigeria. Now, this is not just to women, also to men. But to my women, remember Bridge for Her. Building route to inclusion, digital skills, and gainful employment. That's the full meaning of Bridge, and it's for her. We want to help you. I would also be looking at what you can do in the immediate. Mini plastic recycling plant. If you have up to like 30-40 million, that's something you can start. Some people now, the way they have structured the plant is when you bring in your PET bottles, you just put it into the machine. The machine will wait and then will give you like a dummy coin. With the dummy coin, you can go and cash in how much you have brought in. You can bring that in. If they are paying people instantly like that, they must be making some money from this. Find out. You can now use recycled plastic to make paving stone. You can use it to make manhole covers. You can use it to make elements to be able to fabricate to build a house. These are businesses that you can go into, and these businesses, they don't look attractive now, but they will be the jobs of the future. If you're a pharmacist, don't just wait at looking for a job. What about you starting a pharmacy? What would it entail to start a pharmacy? What's the licensing procedure? If you want to start a supermarket, because you would always need a corner shop. You don't have to be big. I don't want to mention any of the big ones. If you master a few products, like there is one trending supermarket now, low-level supermarket that is trending all over. As at a year ago, it has more than 50 locations in Lagos. I'm sure my statistics now is wrong, because this supermarket is expanding all the way now to Ibadan. I don't know where it's gone to. It's not selling too much. The prototype of the building is small. They're selling only things that are not so expensive, and they're not icing anything. They're not so sophisticated, and people are trooping there. That can be your own USP. If you know how to drive, haulaging and logistics is something you can go into for starters. When you start it and you're driving the car yourself, you will understand the rudiments, the modus operandi on the road. So by the time you begin to get other vehicles and have other drivers, you already know they can't cheat you, because you know the rule of the game. I talked about initially supplying water. You yourself can start a water factory. All these businesses I'm talking about, you can start with less than 50 million. Packaging those foodstuff is another thing you can do. I'm not saying just packaging gari and beans to be distributed in the Owambe party. You can begin to package for exports, package for delivery into homes. Look at this. People are exporting ginger. People are exporting groundnut. People are exporting cashew. What can you do? They said Nigeria produces one of the best cashews, one of the best yams. What can you do? And how can you also convert this food that we produce in season? Like, what can you do to your mango to make it go year round? You can dry it. You can juice it. What can you do to your cashew? We make cashew here, yet we import cashew that we are eating. Go to Bomosho. Go and study the setup. Go and study the scenario for a while and see what we can do. I'm talking about you not just following the trend. I love AI. I use it. I'm still learning it. If I want to submit myself to a class to know more, because we are not digital natives, we are digital migrants. I want to know more about it. So I'm saying you that you're a digital native, you know everything about automation, but you don't have any skill. A time is coming when almost everybody will know everything about AI. Then what will you have as an edge? Yoruba say, "Atelewo enikin tonije." You need to make sure you have a skill. Even if you want to trade, there's a skill, there's a method to trading. You know, the apprenticeship system is what helps you to know the trade secret in any setup. Don't miss the opportunity. I would have to stop now, but I remember Bridge for Her. Go to whitefieldfoundation.ng and register now. And remember to follow the Funmi Johnson on all social media platforms. Stay tuned to 92.3 Spiritual FM. We'll continue this conversation same time next week.
Family Today with Funmi Johnson is powered by the Capstone Church Without Walls.